Hey guys, I finally got a new deck list for you guys. I saw the deck that won YCS Anaheim, Miracle Heroes, or just Hero Beat, Hero Stone, or whatever. And I read the deck list and I was like, oh shit, that's very similar to the one that I won locals with today. Finally won locals. I finished second, God knows how many times, but I finally won it. Um, so I figured I'd post this up for the deck list at Anaheim. Got up so people wouldn't say I was D-riding or anything. But yeah, I beat Kwame Gunn. In case you don't know who Kwame Gunn is, he is the guy who got top 32 at YCS Charlotte with Frognarks. The only guy who topped with Frognarks at that event. Um, but I'm not going to take too much credit for that because he was high most of the day. And he was running two different decks in the two tournaments that we played in that he normally never plays. So I won't take too much credit for beating him. It was kind of a fluke, but whatever. I'll take what I can get, right? Switch this to portrait and show you guys the deck list. One Stratos because he gets you these guys. Three of them. This guy because he helps get you these guys back. Triple Thunder King. Some people only run two because they say it clogs up your hand. And I'll admit, yeah, it does clog up your hand sometimes. Sometimes you'd rather have a Cyber Dragon or one of these dudes. But having that first turn Thunder King against 6 Sams, it just locks him down so bad. I just run 3 just so I can have a better chance of opening him up with it. Great in the mirror match too. Cyber Dragon, great in the mirror match. GKs, Karkuri Plant, Machina. A lot more uses for this guy this format than there have been in past formats. So yeah, just that's more like a tech card in there. But yeah, he does pretty good. Helps you push, helps you get some field presence and bait shit out. One Honest to feed these guys and this lady. And these are my 3 ways to remove shit that I don't like. My answers to Sheehan. Stimulator's not a very good answer because he destroys and well, if Sheehan's like solo out on the field, it's a pretty good card. But other than that, it's mid. These 2 guys are better. You can set them if you're afraid about warning, or you can attack if they have a clear field and just remove that Sheehan. Graham will put in work all day today. Like, it just locked down my opponent so many times. They had to, just top deck like a D prison or something to get him out of the way. And 1 Gores. I run a continuous spell, Future Fusion, and continuous Royal Oppression, and 10 traps total. But, I mean, this guy, you just go easy on the traps. You only put down what is absolutely necessary. Like, if you're going against 6 Sams, you'll put that down. But, yeah, Gores probably won me about 4 games today. Just because I couldn't deal with the beat stick and my Wigglytuff Gores token. Yeah, that rounds up the monsters at 14. 1 Future Fusion, 3 Miracle Fusion. It's almost always live. I know the guy who won Anaheim didn't only, I think he sided 2 and he didn't main any. But being able to top deck into one of these guys is just too good to be ignored. 1 Poly Duality because I'm poor, I would run 2 and not 3 because going pot for pot or pot for Miracle Fusion sucks. 1 Reinforcement E-Call because they help you get these guys. Gem Spark for these dudes. 2 Forbidden Lance. Not really a replacement for Book of Moon because it does things completely differently, but it does save your ass like Book of Moon does quite often. You can use it as like a Gedo Sakaretsu armor, lower your opponent's attack. And then they suicide into it. And 1 book, some people just consider this a tech card now, but it's good in just about everything, I think. 2 MST mandatory this format, and the 2 staples that probably should be banned. I wouldn't ban Darkhold. It's like Heavy Storm for monsters. It's pretty good. 1 Hero Blast because if you're playing Miracle Fusions, it doesn't make sense to run 2 of these, but 1 is good. The 1 was almost always live, 2 is almost always dead. 1 Royal Oppression because I only have 1 warning because, again, I'm poor. But it put in work all day. I'd probably take out something else to put in the second pot instead of second warning. But I like this card too much because it saved my ass a bunch of times. I had to side it out a bunch of times against like Frognarks and GBs and shit. But yeah, 2 D Prisons, Mirror Force, Solemn Judgment. 1 warning, unfortunately, like to run 2, and probably the worst trap I put in all day was Turnsel Tribute. Every time I got it, I either had too much field presence or it just never went off like it was supposed to. So yeah, definitely gonna take that out. I had one bottomless trap hole, just sort of a tech now, and one 7 tools to stop all the shit that you just saw. Because my katana is a bitch. Extra board, pretty self-explanatory. 3 shining, gets you shit. Absolute zero. I had like Ocean and the Snowman Eater, so I have plenty of bait for him. I have Gaia, Draco Knight, which I have not used yet. I did use the Gaia Knight today. I went Super Poly on somebody's full helm and just poked twice for 22 for game. 2 Chimera Tech, and then just pretty much standard synchro monsters. This is my side deck: 1 Cyber Dragon, 2 Banishers, 1 King Tiger. These 3 guys put in work like all day. They just went to town. It was just like against a lot of matchups. I pretty much side into stun, and I like the stun of these 2 guys as opposed to 2 of this guy. But 1 DD Crow is fine because you're not always gonna have this guy out there, and yeah, being able to screw up that Debris Dragon play or whatever is just awesome. 1 Kinetic Soldier, 1 Puppet Plant. I was gonna take out the Puppet Plant and run 2 Kinetic Soldier, but I couldn't find it, so I just put in the Puppet Plant instead. I didn't really like Puppet Plant in this deck, I thought, because I didn't have a tuner to get rid of their like warriors and shit. And running tuners is probably the best way to use that. But no, I was taking people's Kagamushas, I was taking their aliases and Crusaders of Endemilion, or whatever the fuck it is. The 4-star Gemini 1900 beater light that people like to put in place for this guy. And I puppet planted that, attacked somebody's Stratos with it, and then Gem Sparked it myself, which was hilarious. 2 Super Poly, self-explanatory. 2 Nox, self-explanatory. 1 Spell Shattering Arrow, great against Dragonides, 6 Sams, good against, you know, Malefics and Nectar Valley. And 2 Chain Disappearance, pretty self-explanatory. And 1 Mind Crush, which I pretty much sided in against everything. One thing I want to say about Chain Disappearance, it doesn't win you games. When you get this off on somebody's Kagamusha or their flanks or their Treeborn, don't just say, oh, you want to scoop, you know, don't be a dick with this card. It doesn't win you games, but what it does is it severely limits your opponent's options. They can still come back and win. I had somebody, like, I hit somebody's Kageki, and they still came back and won because they got some good draws and like Keyzons and shit. And I hit somebody's Treeborn, he still came back and won. So that's, you know, good Frognark players are going to be able to get around that. But then again, you know, there's plenty of not so good Frognark players. But yeah, it doesn't win games. Doesn't it just limits your opponent's options and helps you win. Doesn't win the game just outright or anything. But yeah, that's the deck pretty much. And I took some time explaining it because I like this deck. I've pretty much been tweaking it for about 2 months now. Been changing stuff every week, and now I finally got a build that I think is really consistent. Just would like to have 1 more pot, 1 more warning would be cool. Definitely take out that because I didn't like it all day. Maybe take out a Snowman Eater. I don't know what I put in for it though. I like the Absolute Zero bait, but yeah. That pretty much wraps it up. I'm running at about 9 minutes now, so I'll let you guys go. Peace.